Before we start 30 through 32, let's go over a couple of shortcut rules. When you have like bases that are multiplied, you can add the exponent. So x squared times x to the third, you add the 2 and the 3 and get x to the fifth. When you have an exponent raised to another exponent, you can multiply exponents. So this becomes x to the 2 times 3 or x to the 6th power. So we're going to use that here in number 30. If I just have an x by itself, that's like x to the first power. So I have x squared and an x, so I'm going to add those two exponents. That gives me x to the third. I've got y to the fourth times y to the seventh, like bases, so I can add exponents. That's y to the 11th. I also teach how you can write this a different way. If you write this out, you can rearrange the order because multiplication is commutative. So you can put all the x's together and put all the y's together. And then x squared really just means x times itself. So you have x times x and then times another x, which gives you x to the third. And then y to the fourth is really y times itself 4 times. And y to the seventh is just y times itself 7 times. So altogether you have y times itself 11 times, which gives you y to the 11th. So you can see x to the third times y to the 11th right there. Sometimes I teach that as a way to help figure that one out. Over here, 31, again, I rearrange them. Since this is all multiplied together, I can rearrange these. If there was any adding or subtracting, I couldn't do this. But I'm just going to rearrange them so that all the numbers are together, all the y's are together, and all the z's are together. Then I can combine the -5 times the -8, I know is 40. And then y to the fourth times y to the sixth, I can add those, so that's y to the 10th. And then z to the first times z to the fifth, we can add those exponents, is z to the 6th. And there's my answer. Okay. Since there's no adding or subtracting, I can just raise 2 to the 5th, x to the third to the 5th, and y to the 4th to the 5th. So I'll just do this piece by piece. 2 to the 5th. Don't be tempted to put 10. 2 to the 5th power means 2 times itself 5 times, which is 32. Then x to the third to the 5th. Remember, if I have an exponent raised to another exponent, I can multiply exponents. So this becomes x to the 15th. And y to the 4 times 5 is 20. Y to the 20th. Remember that these problems didn't have any adding or subtracting in. If they did, I'd have to rethink my steps.